As you know, we're going through the book of Revelation. We are at chapter 20, and this is our chapter 20, part 2. We saw in the beginning of chapter 20 that Antichrist and the false prophet was sent to the lake of fire. And then an angel came down and took Satan, devil, and he bound him for 1,000 years. He was out of the picture. Now, what is known as the millennial kingdom of Christ has begun. What is the millennial kingdom? Just by its name, just like its name suggests, it is a kingdom that will last 1,000 years. Jesus came down at the end of tribulation with his saints, and then he put an end to this great war that was coming against them with the word of his mouth. And he started ruling on earth. Now, this kingdom is not going to be like the kingdoms of the world. He's going to be reigning and ruling from Jerusalem. He's going to use the saints to rule with him. I don't know if I mentioned this last time. If I did, sorry to repeat it, but it does bear repeating. There are certain times in your life where you might not understand why you go through what you go through. If you're a believer, I want you to know that you're in preparation to be ruling in the millennial kingdom. You will go through difficult circumstances, difficult situations at times. I want you to know that's training for what's to come. Some people might have other things very easy for them, but yours might be challenging. In different situations, others seem like they're more blessed than you, while you might go without. All of this is a preparation for what is to come. Because you will be ruling with Christ in his 1,000-year reign. According to what we learned in our sanctification process, according to what we learned in our walk with him. If you remember the parable of the talent, according to what we learned on this side of eternity, you will be given responsibilities on the other side. You're not going to be playing harps on clouds, as some cartoons might suggest. That's not heaven. Heaven is a totally different place. But we're not talking about heaven right now. We're talking about the 1,000-year reign of Christ. Heaven, the eternal state, is going to come later on. So in the great timeline of things, just to recap, Old Testament, Jesus, church age, rapture, 7-year tribulation. Jesus comes down with the saints and then starts 1,000 years reign. Jesus himself will be reigning out of Jerusalem. King David is going to be responsible for Israel. He's going to be ruling there. And then all of you will have different responsibilities throughout different parts of the world, because there will no longer be a political office or, well, I got a degree in this, so let me say, all that's out the window. It's a new way of doing things. It's a new way of living life. Nature itself will be different. There will be no more animosity between man and the animals. There will be no more animosity between animals and animals. A little child will be able to play with the cobra or lead a lion. Or a leopard will be playing with the sheep. Their nature is going to change. They will no longer be carnivores. They will be eating grass. Also, if you've come down with the Lord, if you're one of the saved ones, your nature has been changed. You have the glorified body that God will give you at the rapture. But in the meantime, there will be people living on earth. Because during 1,000 years, people's lifespans will be a lot longer, hundreds and hundreds of years. We're told in the Old Testament that if somebody dies at the age of 100, they say, oh, he died as a baby. He was very young. Well, she hasn't seen any days, you know. So people are going to be living hundreds and hundreds of years old. So there's going to be a lot of new people coming to earth, new kids being born. And in order to trick them, you will see that Satan will be let loose for a short time at the end of those 1,000 years. Just to see if he can, one last time, if he could trick the newborns that are living on earth and have them war against God again. Because he's relentless. Even though he was bound for 1,000 years, he just, as soon as he's freed, he just picks up where he left off. He has that drive to conquer God, per se. Verse 7. When the 1,000 years are completed, Satan will be released from his prison. He will come out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together for war. Again, he's trying to fight against God. The number of them is like the sand of the seashore. And they came up on the broad plain of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city. So what's happening here is Satan, in that towards the end of the millennium, he's set free. He's tricked some people. He's got some people following him. What he does, like I said, Jesus is going to be here ruling from Jerusalem, and we're going to be with him, ruling together. So we're going to be in the headquarters of sorts. And Satan and his cohorts are surrounding that area to attack Jesus and us, to wage war again. But this is what happens. And they came up on the broad plain of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city, that's Jerusalem. This is what happened. And fire came down from heaven and devoured them. That's simple. No fight, no war. Just they come to attack, fire comes down, the end. And the devil who deceived them was thrown into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are also. Remember, they were sent there before. They're still there. And finally, Satan also thrown into the lake of fire. And that's where they're going to be forever. And they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. In the original Greek, the word forever and ever means forever and ever. It's not temporary. It's not a prison sentence. It's not a place, well, let me pay for my wrongdoing so I can. No. Once you're there, you're there. And then, verse 11, I saw a great white throne, and him who sat up on it, from whose presence the earth and heaven fled away, and no place was found for them. Who is him? Who's the him that's sitting on the throne? Jesus. Right. And now everybody is afraid of Jesus. Why? Well, and I saw the dead, great and small. Great and small meaning not only a lot of people, great and small in stature. Big people, world leaders, rich people, accomplished people, smart people, ordinary people, less than average people. Everybody was there. Standing before the throne. That's also significant. Because standing before the throne has the posture of receiving the sentence. Now, a lot of people you might hear might say, when I go up there, I'm going to tell God this and that. No. No. If you did not realize your sinfulness, if you did not realize your need for a Savior, you weren't able to comprehend that there was a need for a maker and a designer. If you're not able to think about eternality of your soul, there is nothing you will be able to say in that moment when you're standing before the throne. You will just be receiving your punishment. These are heavy words, but this is the Bible. We cannot sugarcoat it. God is love. He gives us choice. He gives us chance. He shows us the way. He gives us a way to live. He gives us advice. He makes a way out of hell. He says, come, this is the way. Live, this is the way. But if we keep on shutting him down, if we keep on rejecting him, if we keep the door of our heart and our mind closed to him and not open it, on that day it will be too late. There is a point of no return. Yes, God is love, but at the same time, God is just. That's why it's so important that we share with our loved ones, our friends, our family, that the point of no return is coming. We are all busy and preoccupied, and we have our plans, our agendas, and we got to do life this way, that way, or the other. You know, finish this school, get this degree, marry this person, go get that job, or buy this house, whatever it is, raise this kid, send them to this school, or retire here, whatever. We all have our idea of what success looks like. But unless that idea, that picture, that designation comes from the Lord, it's a waste of time. Don't waste your time pursuing things that are not from the Lord. Because it's all coming to an end. All coming to an end. It's meaningless. In light of eternity, look, when you're going through something, when you're in a situation where you think it's less than ideal, the time feels like it's a lot longer than it is. But even if it's 100 years, what is that compared to eternity? Think about your life, however old you are. Look back to your earliest childhood memories. How long it's been. Yet it's nothing compared to eternity. If you lived 30 years, 50 years, 100 years, it's nothing compared to 1,000,000 years. Nothing compared to eternity. So yes, we might have difficult moments and times and blocks of times or situations, but we must do the right thing. Think the right way. Plan the way God wants us to plan. Listen to His direction. Because only He has the best life for you. Only He has the best eternity for you. And the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged from the things which were written in the books according to their deeds. Now, this is the judgment of the people that have not come to the Lord. People that are saved are already raptured or they're with the Lord. But this white throne judgment is for the unsaved, unrepentant, unregenerate. People that haven't been born again from above. And they will answer according to their deeds. The only difference between a believer and an unbeliever, people that's going to go be with the Lord, go to heaven, let's call it, simplify it, or be forever separated from Him, be in hell, there's only one difference. One is forgiven, the other one isn't, because we are all guilty. See, they have to pay according to their deeds. But I tell you what, if we were not forgiven, we would be judged by our deeds and we would also deserve to go to hell. We're not better than other people. We're just forgiven. We're not perfect. I'll tell you, Christians at times are more prideful than regular people. More condescending than unbelievers. Unbelieving world is more helpful at times than believers, to our shame. The only difference is we're forgiven. For that, we must be humble. For that, we should thank the Lord day and night. Lord, thank you for forgiving me. Thank you for embracing me as your child, protecting me, blessing me, giving me all these things. Because all good things come from you. A believer realizes that. So all these people were judged according to their deeds. And the sea gave up the dead in it, meaning people that have died in the sea, they perished in the ocean. They're going to be coming up to stand before the Lord. Hades, that means the ground, who was people that are buried, they're going to come up, gave up the dead in it, and they were judged, every one of them, according to their deeds. Thank God, through Jesus Christ, that we don't have to be judged according to our deeds, because we would all deserve hell. Then death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. You know what this means? No more death. No more burials. No more dying. It is finished. It is forever put away. It's forever gone. Anytime you see the lake of fire, that is eternity. That is never ending. So death and burials and everything that's associated with that, it gets thrown away forever. There is no more death. This is the second death, the lake of fire. This is the ultimate one. This is the forever one. And if anyone's name, again, warning, last verse, if anyone's name was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire. So question for us here, for people that might be watching, maybe watching in the future through YouTube or other venues, is your name written in the book of life? Answer to this question will have eternal consequences. And only you can answer it. You and God. God bless.